You probably know someone like this. They walk into a room quietly. Nothing about them screams rich. Their shoes and their jeans? Regular. Their phone? 2 generations old. But somehow they own 3 rental properties. They just paid off their car in cash. They're the kind of person who never posts online but always seems ahead. In 2026, looking poor is becoming the smartest thing you can do, financially, emotionally, and even socially.
Why?
Because in a world where almost everyone is trying to look like they've made it, the people who actually have are doing the opposite. You might think success means designer shoes, luxury cars, and expensive vacations. But the truth? That version of success is starting to look fake, outdated, even dangerous. The new wealth? It's quiet,
Hidden.
and intentional. So why are more and more people, from millionaires to young hustlers, choosing to look poor in 2026? And what does it mean for you? Let's uncover what they know and why it might change the way you play the money game. The death of flashy. Just a few years ago, the louder your lifestyle, the more successful you looked. If you weren't flexing on Instagram, were you even winning? High-end fashion, luxury cars, private jets, they were status symbols. You might have felt pressure to dress a certain way, post certain things, or spend money just to look the part. But then the world shifted. Inflation hit hard, layoffs increased, housing became a luxury, and suddenly, showing off felt wrong.
Fake.
Even a little risky. In 2026, people are waking up. The ones flashing wealth, often drowning in debt. The ones staying quiet, stacking assets, not likes. And you feel it too. There's something strange about someone in head-to-toe designer gear complaining they can't afford rent. Looking rich no longer means you are rich. And many are starting to realize chasing that image can keep you broke. The new status symbol? Peace of mind. The new flex? No one knowing how well you're doing. Because when you stop performing for the world, you start building for yourself. Who's really rich now? Let me tell you about 2 people. First, there's Adam. He drives a 2012 Corolla. His clothes? Mostly plain. He brings lunch from home. He never brags. Never flashes. But Adam owns 2 Airbnb rentals, $80,000 in investments, and no debt. He could quit his job tomorrow and be fine for years. Then there's Jordan. Every story is a vacation. Designer sneakers. The newest iPhone. You see Jordan online, and you feel like they're winning. But here's the truth. Jordan is 3 months behind on credit card payments. And they're stressed. Constantly. So, who's really rich? The one who looks like it, or the one who doesn't need to prove it? In 2026, it's getting harder to tell, because the truly wealthy are hiding in plain sight. And you might already know one. Maybe it's the quiet coworker, the older neighbor, or even the friend who never talks about money. They've figured it out. Wealth isn't about attention. It's about freedom. And if you stop chasing the image of wealth, you might start building the real thing. The idea of looking poor. Let's get real for a second. Why do you want to look successful? For most of us, it's not about money. It's about what money represents. Respect, validation, security, status. But here's the thing you're not always told. The moment you stop needing to look rich, you start thinking like someone who actually is. When you choose to look broke, even when you're not, you take back control. You're no longer performing, no longer chasing, no longer buying things just to impress people who probably don't even notice. This mindset shift is powerful. It frees you from the pressure of constant comparison. It helps you focus on what actually makes you wealthy. Ownership, time, low stress. Smart investments and privacy. You stop reacting and start planning. And suddenly, your money decisions are based on what you need, not what the world expects. Looking poor doesn't mean you've given up. It means you've leveled up, quietly, on your terms. Think about it. The moment you walk into a room and no one knows what you have, you win. Because your power becomes invisible, and that's the safest, strongest kind of power there is. So, what does this actually look like for you in 2026? It's not about wearing rags or pretending to struggle. It's about being intentional, choosing simplicity when the world is screaming for attention. You might know someone like this already. A guy in beat-up sneakers who owns 3 vending machines and earns $6,000 a month passively. A woman who thrifts her wardrobe, drives a basic car but just paid off her mortgage at 38. A young developer who bikes to work, wears hoodies, and quietly builds a $200,000 investment portfolio. These people aren't poor. They just look unbothered by the pressure to prove anything. And because of that, they win over and over. You can do the same. Start by asking yourself, do I want to look rich or be rich? Do I spend to feel seen or to feel secure? Would I still buy this if no one else ever saw it? When you start living for peace instead of praise, your money decisions change. You stop leaking wealth. You stop performing. You become unshakable. And in a time where image is everything, your invisibility becomes your biggest advantage. Looking poor? It's not a weakness. It's your quiet revolution. Is looking poor, a recession strategy? Let's face it, 2026 may not be the easiest year. Prices are still high, tech layoffs are happening everywhere, and AI is replacing jobs faster than people can adapt. Maybe you've already felt it, the stress, the uncertainty, the pressure to keep up, even when things are tight. But here's a secret. The people who make it through tough times don't flex. They prepare. Looking poor isn't just a style. It's a strategy. It helps you blend in, stay under the radar, spend less. No one expects you to buy rounds at dinner, upgrade your phone, or chase trends you can't afford. And that quiet lifestyle, it protects you. You get to save more, think clearer, move smarter. And when the economy gets rough, you're already ready. The people who survive recessions aren't always the smartest or the richest. They're the ones who live simply, stack cash, and ignore the noise. So while others are busy keeping up appearances, you can be building a safety net. Because in 2026, looking poor might be the richest move you ever make. There's something the ultra-rich know that you might not. They understand that real wealth doesn't need to be seen. It just needs to work. You've seen it. Warren Buffett driving an old car. Mark Zuckerberg in the same gray t-shirt every day. Even Keanu Reeves taking the subway. They're not trying to impress anyone because they already won. They've reached a level where they don't need attention. They need freedom. And you can adopt that same mindset right now. Because the truth is, when you look rich, people expect you to keep performing. You become a target for scams, overcharging, pressure, judgment. But when you look average, you get to move quietly. You make decisions for yourself, not for show. The ultra-rich protect their wealth by hiding it. That's the real game. That's how they keep winning. So even if you're not there yet, start thinking like them. Don't show off. Show discipline. Don't chase praise. Chase freedom. And soon, you'll stop trying to prove you're rich, because you'll know you're becoming something far better, unshakably free. Looking rich can be dangerous. When you wear wealth on the outside, you invite assumptions, expectations, and sometimes predators. People charge you more because they think you can afford it. You attract fake friends, gold diggers, and shallow opportunities. Worse, you feel constant pressure to keep up the image, even if you're struggling inside. And the scariest part? You might start believing your own performance, spending to feel valuable, chasing praise instead of purpose. But you don't need to live like that. You can choose something better. Freedom, simplicity, safety. A life where you don't owe anyone an explanation. When you stop trying to look rich, you stop leaking energy, you stop leaking money, and you start building something real. Because the biggest trap in 2026 is pretending you're rich just to feel accepted by people who don't even matter. Now imagine, it's the end of the year. You're sitting in your small, quiet space. Your bills are paid. Your savings are growing. Your investments are moving. And nobody even knows how far you've come because you never needed them to. That's real power. That's real wealth. And you built it quietly, without anyone's approval. So let them laugh at your old car. Let them judge your simple clothes. Let them underestimate you. Because while they were chasing attention, you were chasing freedom. While they were impressing strangers, you were investing in your future. In 2026, don't play their game. Play the long game. Be smart. Be low-key. Be unstoppable. And when the world finally notices how far you've come, you'll just smile because you already knew. You didn't need to look rich. You became rich on your own terms. Like this video if it spoke to you. Subscribe if you're ready to build real wealth in silence. Comment, what's your reason for choosing simplicity in 2026?